so much and good night.
Alright. And with that, folks, we have left the station. Alright, my name is Savannah. I'm your tour guide this evening. We've got your driver, Ronnie, on board. Can everybody say hi, Ronnie?
Hi, Ronnie!
Alright, and of course,
Dude, I swear.
I would be no one in Hollywood without a co-host. I'm going to introduce mine to you now. You might recognize him, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy Fallon.
I love Jimmy Fallon.
You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I make sure you get through this experience in one piece. You got the very best guide
Savannah.
and the greatest drive.
Ronnie.
You're the best. I love it. Even though it
Savannah.
won't be $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules to go over, and I'm going to share those with you now. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or you drop something of value over the side of the tram, have any sound or video issues, just reach out and grab that red cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you just as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to pull the red cord above your head if you need any assistance. The studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just damage the restroom, once again, pull that cord and stay seated. There's no smoking on board the train today. Loud noises, sun movements, fire effects, and water effects. We're going to fire those cameras out for some great photos. Do keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Selfie sticks are allowed on board the train today. And finally, for the safety of yourself and others, please remember that we're staying with our traveling parties, and we are keeping our facial coverings over our nose and mouth for the duration of the tour. Alright, and with that, everybody, we've officially left the theme park, and we are now in the heart of Universal Studios. On either side of the tram, what you're catching a glimpse of is what we call our Universal timeline. These posters represent just a few of the 8,000 movies we've made in our 106-year history. On your right, that's Fire Station 51. It is a real working fire station here at Universal City. Now, I did just say Universal City. We are, in fact, the city. Our opening day was March 15th, 1915. But we have our own zip code, our own emergency services. At one time, we even had our own post office and our own mayor. The biggest difference between our city and yours is that nobody really lives here. Instead of finding houses or apartment buildings, you'll find the fronts of houses. And about 28 massive sound stages, the first of which is coming up on your left-hand side. That's sound stage 12. It's the biggest and oldest sound stage on our backlot. It's been home to the set of Frankenstein's Laboratory. Oh, it's open. Look inside. I'm going to allow you to ask me to see inside sound stage 12. There's also Dracula's Lair, Scarface's Man for the Visitor Center for Jurassic Park. Alright, I need to reduce my volume just a little bit here, folks. But I am still here, alright? Now, we are about to pass sound stages 19 through 16. Take a look inside. As we pass by, it looks like we have open doors.
Nintendo Land.
19. Now, the white pattern you see on the walls, folks, is soundproofing material that is used to keep. Oh, guys, there's active stuff happening in 16 and 17. We're about to pass it. Take a look inside. You might be able to catch a glimpse of Bayside High. This is where we are remaking Saved by the Bell in sound stages 16 and 17. Just last year, it wasn't a high school in there. It was an entire superstore. It's the same superstore with America Ferrera. Those stores have been closed all too. That's pretty exciting. All right, and around the curve here, just beyond all these trucks, you'll see another sound stage 21. It is more in the set of Saved by the Bell. It's the Max for any of you Saved by the Bell fans. Also, this area in front here,
What
where you
happened?
see all these trailers and trucks, that's what we call base camp. It's where you keep everything you need for a shoot that doesn't fit on the soundstage. You'll find trailers here for wardrobe, for the actors, for makeup and hair.
That's
maybe even lighting
Nintendo
and
Land
sound.
again.
I don't know. Alright, yeah, looks like 21's open. Oh, wow. You guys, that's been closed all day. I hope you're seeing some cool stuff.
Oh, wait.
But speaking of us being on board this facility, I'm going to let you know
Yeah.
peeking to see if we can catch anything. Alright, the area we're passing now is known as Sitcom Alley. It's where some of the world's longest running and most famous sitcoms were filmed, including The Facts of Life, Silver Spoons, One Day at a Time, and parts of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Now we're using these substitutes to film Good Girl, starring Christina Hendricks, Greta, and Mae Whitman, as well as Mr. Mayor, starring Ted Danson. You're right there, you see those minions with the Red Next Entertainment. Illumination, of course, following the Spitball franchise, as well as Secret Life of Pets 2. And now, here at Universal Studios Hollywood, Secret Life of Pets The Ride. Right, and once again, folks, I'm going to be asking you to direct your attention to the left or to the right of the tram at various points, but if you see something actually happening, pay no attention to me and look at whatever filming you might happen to be seeing. Alright, we're passing 10, so long 10. Now, when we started making movies here, studios had what were called contract players. That means actors signed a contract to work for one studio alone. When they did, they were assigned a dressing room. That's these buildings on your left-hand side. These little beige guys are known as our bungalows. Once upon a time, they were dressing rooms to the stars, including Paul Newman, Julianne Woodward, Whoopi Goldberg students worked for a while, but now that we have trailers and we can keep actors so close to the action, these are production offices for studios here in Hollywood. Out here on our lot, you'll find Elizabeth Banks' Brownstone Productions. You'll find Mark Black Productions. New to the lot as of a couple months ago, Lady Rock Johnson has a bungalow out here with Sammy Bucks Productions, working on season 2 of Young Rock. Everybody watching season 1? It's a lot of fun. It's on NBC. Alright, we also have the De Laurentiis Company, which is in the most famous bungalow on our lot. You'll see it on your left-hand side in just a moment. It's 5195, the familiar silhouette of Alfred Hitchcock on the side. It's fitting that the De Laurentiis Company is in there because they're responsible for films such as Hannibal. Alright, these last two big office-looking buildings on your left-hand side are offices, but beyond the offices, there are two newest sound stages. Soundstage 22 and 23. They were used for all 3 seasons of the new Will and Grace, and right now, inside those sound stages, we are shooting Keenan. Alright, look to the left as we go up this hill. There's been something filming out on Metro all week. Alright, looks like they might be packing up for the night, but we are not going into our New York sets. But please look over there, see if you can catch a glimpse of anything that may or may not be happening. Alright, now those sets are made to look like any urban city. It's a lot safer and cheaper to come out here and walk off a little bit of tram traffic than it is to take out the city block for filming. But sometimes not even a backlot is enough. Sometimes you just need your imagination and a computer. Here to tell you a little more about that is Mr. Director Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up on the edge. Kong literally does.
We're going into
the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skyliner. That's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skyliner. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature of Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are a window into his personality and his heart. We said
Here we go.
fire.
studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie, we always know people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this live movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot and this tram that's driving around through Skull Island is where the canvas fit. This one represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We do a production about 15 minutes of a picture shot. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presented into the audience, it's incredible.
Now, did anybody notice that while we were in there with King Kong and those dinosaurs, the tram car 5 got pulled off and met an untimely end? Yeah, don't feel too bad. The people on board that tram car were actually Peter Jackson's kids and family, so they had a great time. Now, when that tram got pulled on the screen, it became what we in Hollywood call a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle that you see on screen, whether it's part of the background or a featured character in the film. Coming up in just a moment on your left-hand side, we are going to show you some of our favorite Universal picture cars. Oh, and it's nighttime, so the lights are on. This is fun. All right, that first car there is the kit car from the Knight Rider series. Right next to a Magnum PI's Ferrari, though we call it a faux Ferrari here on the back lot because it's the shell of a Ferrari with the engine of a Volkswagen. Check out those futuristic vehicles from Back to the Future too. Next to some prehistoric ones from the Flintstones. And what would a Universal picture car display be without cars from the Fast franchise? Folks, there's the orange Julius, the Nissan Skyline. And from Jurassic World, we have a gyrosphere. And rounding out this portion of our picture car display, the last one looks like a tank. It's called a Bradley fighting vehicle. Take a really close look, folks, because it's made out of plywood. Now, a lot of vehicles that you see in movies might actually be made out of plywood or other lightweight materials, especially if we need to blow them up, move them around. or if we never drive them. It's cheaper, it is safer, and it is easier to play with wood than metal. Alright, now you saw that gyrosphere back there, and if you're a fan of Jurassic World, you notice something's missing. It's the glass. There was never any glass on that gyrosphere. We added it in afterward with computer-generated imagery. And it's a good thing that Jurassic World did that. Jurassic Park, in fact, was the big break for computer-generated imagery. So without further ado, I'm pleased to welcome you.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
On the either side of the tram, you're seeing sets and prop pieces from the original Jurassic Park trilogy. Something doesn't seem right though, so do me a favor, folks. Holler if you see it's a Brontosaurus, alright? Sorry about that, folks. We have 3 dinosaurs out here on the back lot. Alright, one more friend who wants to say hello to you on the left of the tram. That's our Spinosaurus Barbara.
I got wet. Well done.
You will notice that Barbara is only the front half of a Spinosaurus. We only ever film what the camera will see because you, the audience, and the rest of the class, are in the imagination. So thank you for using the back half of Barbara. Alright, now in Jurassic Park, we know that weather plays a huge role in our films. Anytime it rains, you're bound to see a dinosaur. Here in Hollywood, we don't get a whole lot of rain, so when we need it for a movie, we have to make it ourselves. Johnny and James are going into our old Mexico set so we can give you a weather demonstration. Now, this is one of my favorite portions of the tour at night because the lightning looks awesome. Alright, now you'll notice lightning in just a moment coming from flash boxes that we've hidden around this portion of the lot. And you'll hear thunder, and that's coming from speakers as well. There it goes. Now you might notice some long red poles around here as well. And the top of those are sprinklers. And in just a moment, we'll turn them on, and it will rain. Just a reminder of pretend folks, if you look to the left, it's raining. If you look to the right, it's not really raining. This is so peaceful. It's one of the best places. Let's all take a moment and enjoy. Folks, I don't want to raise the alarm bell for anyone, but please remember to stay in your seats with your arms around your side. It looks like there's a flash flood and it's straight to the ground! That flash flood is the result of thousands of gallons of recycled water being pumped out of the top of the hill there. You can see it on your screen because it's a big fat liar with breaking news of Paul Giamatti. Now, when Paul Giamatti was spent in the flash flood, it wasn't him, it was a body double, someone else took the water for him. When Lady Gaga used that flash flood for her Judas music video, she did it herself. Alright, now I feel like we're only going about 10 miles an hour on this tram.
Explains the secrets. The wet seats, man.
With speed. We just left Mexico and as we round the corner, welcome to 6 Points, Texas, everybody. This is one of the oldest standing portions of our backlot. It dates back to the era of silent films. It's called 6 Points because we used to have 6 identical western streets and we would film 6 silent movies all at the same time. You might recognize this portion of our backlot from the recent film from Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. It was filmed right here. Alright, I want to take a moment to let everybody know that we're about halfway through our tour. So once again, if you have an emergency, drop something of value, or just can't wait to use the bathroom, go ahead and pull that red cord, and I'll be back to help you just as soon as it's safe to do so. Alright, take a really close look inside the windows, if you can see in any of these buildings. A few of these sets are practical, meaning that you can film inside of them, but others are just facades. So if you look, you might see through to the other side of the street, you might see our storage. We sometimes hide props that we don't need in these buildings as well. All right, take a peek across the lake as we go through. It looks like you can see inside the voice set right now, all those flashing lights inside that soundstage there. We're doing line castings for the voice right now. Next season. All right, with this body of water here, it might look like
I
a
see
cute
it.
little pond, but with
There's
the Tower of
nothing
Hollywood,
right
it's
now.
seen as
That's
the
cool.
entire Pacific Ocean. It's also where we filmed Showboat and the 1954 Creature classic, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Our history with monsters goes back almost to the very first day of us opening Universal City. We are the home of Frankenstein, of Dracula, of the Mummy, of Wolfman. They all happened right here, actually just over to your left in Little Europe is where they took place. Okay, but now, this shouldn't be treat, everybody. Ronnie's going to take us inside the soundstage so we can see what it looks like when we're inside the film. Now you're not going to need your 3D glasses for this portion of the tour. We showed you some special effects in King Kong 360. All of that happens using computers. But in here, everything that you see is what's called a practical effect. That means it's happening right in front of the camera, or in our case, right in front of the tram. Take a peek around and see if you can guess what's going to happen. On your left, there's a very shaken up Coca-Cola ad. On your right, there was an ad for work sheets that said shake well before serving. Hang on tight, all right? I'm about to shake the tram.
3, 2,
It's not me, it's
1, action. He's not here.
Legend has it that if you look in the upstairs window of the Psycho House, you can still see Mother rocking in her chair. So as we round the bend, make sure you take a good look inside that Psycho House. Does anybody know what kind of chocolate syrup they use for the blood in Psycho? It was Shasta brand syrup because it's the first one that came in a squeeze bottle instead of a can. All right, take a peek. It's your last chance. Try and see her. She's in the upstairs window. All right, don't look too long though, folks, because we're about to enter another disaster zone. It's the crash site from Steven Spielberg's The War of the Worlds. This is one of the grandest sets still standing in Hollywood. What you see on either side of the tram right now are actual pieces of a Boeing 737 that was purchased and destroyed for the making of this film. The aircraft was purchased for $60,000, but to move it to the backlot from the Mojave Desert took an additional $200,000. Never forget, folks, it's always the shipping and handling. You might be able to see it just how old this aircraft is if you look really closely at the armrests. You can see ashtrays. Alright, let me tell you a little more about this set. Is production designer Rick Carter and director Steven Spielberg.
The airplane was perfectly on the set that was all designed around engaging its speed.
Yeah, we sit down to talk about the idea. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big movie? Because it's just something we don't see.
This is your first match, right? Please come close.
You might also recognize this set from a few homeowners insurance commercials, as well as Nicki Minaj and Rihanna's music video Fly. They were dancing on the tail end of the airplane over on your left-hand side. My favorite thing that we use this portion of the back lap for is it's sometimes used to train rescue dogs for emergency situations. Alright, here's the part where I tell you we're about 10 minutes from heading back to the theme park. So just one last reminder that if you have an emergency, drop something of value, just can't wait to use the bathroom, please pull that cord and stay seated. Alright, it's super dark out there, so you can't really see it, but on your right there is a big cabin that's standing there. It's been standing there since the 80s when it was used for a coach. And most recently, it was used in Star Trek Picard. Alright, and as we round the bend, you'll be getting a good glimpse at a giant block bump. You can maybe still tell it's blue at this time of night. You see that giant wall out there in the distance? That's actually one of the world's largest green screens. We added it in 1984. I'm going to show you an example of how it was used for the movie Sully. Now in Sully, they were talking about a plane that crashed in the Hudson River. To recreate it for the film, you can't go crash a plane in the Hudson. So instead, we anchored an airplane in the cement pit that's in front of that giant blue wall, and then filled it with 1.5 million gallons of water. I'll pause it for you. Boom. So the airplane, the actors, a portion of that water, and one rescue boat was really out there in that field. But everything else was added in after the fact, using computer-generated imagery. Now, as I said, that wall has been out there since 1984. Let me show you a few more examples of it in action. Alright, here's what it was originally used for. Boom. See there, the blonde dude on the screen? That's Michael Caine. See how the water's super blue? We dyed it blue to match the establishing shots we already had from the Bahamas, and those clouds are painted on the screen, on the wall right now, okay? Now, funny thing, Michael Caine falls off the boat in this scene. He's super blonde, the water is super blue. Every time this man gets off the boat, his hair turns blue. We have to send him to the shower and start everything all over again. That's my favorite little fact. Tom Hanks, he just can't stay out of Falls Lake. Look, there he is in 1995 in Apollo 13, and he came back for Sully. I mean, really. Okay, boom. So this is cool. See how it looks like the camera is underwater here? Okay, so in the middle of our giant cement pit, there's an even deeper cement pit, and we can hide a cameraman down in there, put some plexiglass on top of him, do the same thing with the water, and it looks like our cameraman is underwater. That's a CGI cow. Don't worry, no animals were harmed in the making of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I've only gone on 2 rides. We paid for like 5 hours. That's honestly pathetic. But we drank a lot.
Now, when we first opened, we were really known for our westerns. Then we were known for our monsters. Then our disaster flicks. And these days, Universal is really known for our action flick blockbusters. And you can't have a good action flick without some serious heroes, folks. Let's check out some of our Universal heroes right now.
I do know that we're brothers. And I know that we're free. As long as we live. must stay true to ourselves.
We can have a revolution.
Ray, I ain't gonna beat around the bush with you. You going blind. The doctor's saying nothing they can do, so we gotta do it ourselves. People are dying, Scott. You've got document after document here, right under your nose. It says why, and you haven't said anything about it.
I've been locked up and for 30 years.
It's up to Ryan, he's the driver.
I want to go to Vietnam. And I'll die there if I have to.
Our courts are the great dilemmas. Our courts.
There's a baby seal out there.
We're getting close to Norman Bates, though.
That's why me and Ronnie switched. I ain't sitting on the outside when Norman Bates comes.
Why don't you sit over there, Mom, for Norman Bates?
Yeah, sit over there for Norman Bates.
Well, you know where I am. As soon as I get over there. Oh, I'm coming up on that.
So, hi.
The bridge is gone.
He just recently took it down. Wilderness Road. If you needed to film something that took place in the middle of nowhere, you could take your cast and crew on a camping trip, or you could come out here to the back lot where we have power, running water, emergency services, and the 101 freeway, and get the job done right here. And many people do. That's what Sandra Bullock did when they filmed Bird Box over on your left-hand side. That was where her tent site was. It's what Fox's Series 911 did with a daring limousine rescue that happened over the hill on your right-hand side. Now that limousine is another example of a picture car, and as we round the corner, we're going to show you just a few more.
wet though.
If you've been coming to Universal Studios for many
What?
years, you might recognize a few of these vehicles from inside the theme park.
Oh, no.
These are the stairs from the Muppet
I just wanted to play
cars from American
for this.
And around the bend, I've got just one last car to show you. It ends up in